Hey y'all, welcome back.
It's Wednesday, so you know
We're winging it.
Today we're with our friends and fellow RVers, Mike and Robin, and wow, do they have a unique story. They are truly all in on the RV lifestyle. So they're going to share their experiences with us on today's Wingin' It.
So stick around.
All right, I know you know the rules of Wingin' It, but just in case you're new to our channel, we're going to set the timer on my phone for 15 minutes. We're going to have a conversation.
Winging It with friends, so it's a 15-minute version.
Normally it would be 10, but that's right. We're going to have a conversation. When the timer goes off, we wrap things up. It's completely unscripted, unedited. You get what you get, Robin. And so it's going to be a ton of fun. But first, we want to say thank you because something really exciting happened
happened last
yesterday.
night.
Yes.
In the middle of the night, somehow.
Our channel hit 15,000 subscribers here on YouTube.
Well, thank you guys. For all you subscribers out there, we appreciate it. Thank you for watching and following our journey. And if you aren't subscribed, why not?
Why not? What are you waiting on?
What are you
Join
waiting
the 15,000 other people and come on, have some fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
That's
y'all.
wonderful.
So we're going to set the timer on my phone. 15 minutes on the clock. We're winging it.
We're winging it.
So Mike and Robin have been our neighbors for a couple weeks, I guess, now.
Yep.
And they actually just moved within the park.
Yes.
Yep.
That happens sometimes if you're staying for an extended period. But why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how you got into RVing and camping and all of that?
Well, I don't know really how we got into it other than way back when we were first married. We started camping almost right away. I mean, I don't remember with our children in diapers literally camping, and probably for the first close to 25 years we camped in a tent.
Wow.
We had a Sears Roebuck tent that we bought, and
We had porta cribs,
Mount Everest, and
dog,
yep,
8 kids.
Yep. It was an ordeal every time, but it was fun. It was something we looked forward to. It was something our kids loved, and then obviously eventually we finally got to the point, because that was prior to all the nice airbags and all that stuff, that sleeping on the ground was not all that easy, not something to really look forward to, if you will, and at least at our age. And so we went out and bought a fifth wheel, and back then it was a bunkhouse fifth wheel.
I imagine
with
so.
Our
Yeah.
kids, right?
And the bathroom.
Yes,
Had to be a good time.
absolutely, and no room to spare.
And to tell you what, I have to say that one really brings back a lot of good memories.
Great
we
memories,
had a lot
yep.
of great memories of the places we went and the things we did with our kids. Obviously, the majority of the memories were literally inside the RV with our family, with our kids, and
it really helped bond you guys as a family.
Yeah.
We could have up to 15 people in there, just all family.
Oh yeah, I mean literally.
And just had a blast.
On top of each other. We literally did have our adult kids in there with their kids, so we had kids and grandkids and adult kids all inside that one RV at one point, and it was, we never really felt crowded. We just felt together.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A lot of togetherness.
Well, their story, and we say all in, and Michael, you retired from Ford, right?
Yep.
And
They're from Michigan.
they're from Michigan, so they were camping in Michigan area. But from that point, when you retired from Ford or whatever, tell everybody what y'all did.
Yeah. Well, I'll back up a little bit and say, I worked in Ford in manufacturing for 35 years. So for 35 years, I was inside of huge buildings, literally 40 plus acres inside the walls of the buildings, but there were no windows. So I was inside without windows, without seeing the sunshine, vast majority of my adult life. And as a teenager, I'd been an outdoorsman with my dad. So probably the last 10 years or so of my career, every now and then, whenever a subject came up about retirement and stuff, I always said, well, when I retire, I want to be a forest ranger. You know, and it was just because I love the outdoors and so on. And that was really, at that point in time, was really all I was thinking about was, you know, getting out there kind of thing. Never really even thought about owning a campground or running a campground. But it was at my retirement party that my son came up to me at one point, and my oldest son came up to me at one point and whispered in my ear, and he says, "Dad," he says, "I got an idea."
Great.
He says, why don't you buy a campground and we can run it together?
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was in January.
And yep, and I'll tell you what, I started looking into it, quickly discovered I needed a lot more money. But and that's a totally different story. But you know, with God's help and blessing, we were able to make it happen, and we just absolutely love it. Absolutely.
From January, started looking at campgrounds. We closed on the one we have June 13th of the same year.
So really, that isn't a long time.
Not
you
at all.
Consider that was a total lifestyle change.
Yes.
You go from not even knowing that you're going to own a campground to your son putting the bug in your ear.
Yep.
And then after we signed, we thought, okay, how are we going to do this living 3 hours away?
Oh, geez.
So
He and
it was
I,
a total learning curve.
Yeah.
At one point, or you know, shortly after we decided, okay, let's do this, he and I together took road trips every weekend because he was still working, and we put about, I don't want to say 6,000 or 7,000 miles on the vehicles, traveling just within the state of Michigan, looking at different campgrounds. We looked at, I want to say, 15 different campgrounds, and when we found ours, we just fell in love with it. And literally, I want to say probably 20-30 miles down the road, we called the realtor and said we want to put an offer in, and it worked out. It worked out. It was,
So tell everybody. I mean, it's beautiful. We have seen it online. We're going to see it in
We're
person.
going to visit.
We are
We
going to visit.
can't wait, really.
It's
That is gonna be
incredibly
awesome.
beautiful. Tell them where it is. And
Okay. It is in Oscoda, Michigan, and if you're familiar with the Michigan map, it's right about here. It's about a mile in from Lake Huron, one of the Great Lakes.
And back up to the Huron National Forest.
Right, we're actually
So
in.
you almost are a forest
Yes.
ranger.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. We are in the very edge of the Huron National Forest, so that's true. Okay, we're also about 1.5 to 2 miles south of the Osable River, which is a very famous river in Michigan, and even in some cases, some would say it's famous worldwide because there's a canoeing event that they do every year that goes from Grayling, which is a city in the middle of the state, to Oscoda. Oscoda is the finish line, and so there's a race that literally takes over 24 hours for them to canoe over 100 miles on the Osable River. So again, it's can be world famous because we literally have people coming from Europe and so on to join in that activity. Yeah, we just love it there. I mean, we had always, I shouldn't say always, but the majority of our camping that we had done when we were camping was on the west side of the state. The sunsets on Lake Michigan were beautiful, sand dunes, and you know, I'll say a little more tourism type developed areas on the west side of the state. But when we found this campground on the east side of the state,
It sold us.
it was amazing. The beach, there's the city park, city beach, if you will, you know, that Oscoda has, is just incredibly beautiful. We love it, and our guests love it. Obviously, our guests love going to the beach. They love going to the river, and of course, all the activities we have in the campground too.
Well, if you haven't noticed, the hat, it is a KOA
Yes, it is.
campground.
It is
So
a
Is the
KOA.
Ascota KOA? Is that correct?
Yes.
It's actually Ascota Tawas KOA now.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's a little story on that.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
When we first bought the campground, yes, it was known as the Ascota KOA. Okay, but where we lived at the time when we bought the campground was about 3 hours south of where the campground was at, and the majority of our guests do come from 2.5 miles or 2.5 hours away. Okay, so whenever we were having discussions, with friends or relatives or whatever downstate about our campground, they would say, well, where's Ascota? And we would say, well, it's an hour south of Alpena, which is another big city up there, or it's about 10 miles north of Tawas. And I know where Tawas is the favorite response.
So we added it.
There you go.
So we added it. It's now the Ascota Tawas KOA, and in fact, if you the actual border for Tawas city limits or whatever are just south of our campground. So it's an appropriate name for the campground.
Yep.
So now I think a lot of folks probably that watch our videos don't realize that a lot of the KOAs are family owned.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about what it's like to be an RVer and yet have a family business as an RV campground.
Well, one great benefit to it is we get a lot of first-time RVers that have just picked up their
yes.
rigs, and they want to go somewhere close to try out and see if everything works right and stuff, but they really don't know what they're doing because
Yeah.
it's the first time ever that they're doing it. And all the guys in the park, my husband and son who own it with us, and then our work campers, all are very knowledgeable RVers, so they're able to help them,
Yep.
simple things, even just hooking up cable, doing the cable TV.
Yep, that's probably the number one item is the cable
Yeah.
TV. 'Cause
Wow.
They don't realize that you have to turn the antenna amplifier off.
Mhm.
Right.
They don't realize you have to scan the channels again
Right,
and that
yeah.
kind of stuff, and
Or closing,
so-
keeping your tanks closed. They think that you keep them open.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just little
Oh,
things, but
yeah.
it's the guys love to do it, and the people just are so appreciative, and
Yep.
it just is an awesome thing. So
That's
So,
awesome.
so you are immersed in the RV lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
our customers come first. That's how our family has been. We raised our family to be giving and kind to everybody, and that's our number one goal, is to everybody to go home and have memories.
Well, we want them to have the same kind of happy memories and stuff that we've experienced.
That's
and
awesome.
and are still experiencing.
that
Yes.
is awesome.
Oh yeah, meeting two wonderful people
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
that will be friends now forever.
Oh,
so.
there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. And I think it's awesome that on your travels now, you end up at another family-owned campground
Mhm.
down
Yes.
here, all the way down in
Yeah.
Galveston,
Right.
Texas.
Oh, we love
At
it here.
Jamaica Beach.
Yes,
Yeah,
we love
RV
this place.
resort. And another thing to me that's really cool is, down here on Galveston Island, this is a 12-month campground.
Yes.
So,
Right.
when the RV owners here, like Ron and Dora, it's tough for them to get away.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Right.
y'all have a situation where you can actually get away.
Yeah, we're very, very fortunate. Very
Yeah.
fortunate.
Our campground is open basically from the 1st of May to somewhere typically the end of the first week or second week of October is typically when we close. And we have to close around that time because we have to begin to get ready for the winter season. There's a lot of things we have to do. Primarily, one of them is, one of the main ones is, we have to low down all the water lines in the campground. So we have roughly 160 sites and 6 deluxe cabins that have water lines going in them for the restrooms and their kitchens and stuff. And so we have to blow all the water lines down to them because they're going to freeze, and if we don't blow them down and get all the water out, they'll break.
Yep. So there's a point there. You don't have to have an RV to stay at y'all's campground.
No,
That's true.
we have tenting to deluxe RV sites to regular RV sites
Yep.
with full hookup to cabins to deluxe cabins, rustic cabins.
Yep. Yep.
Now, do you think, have you used, and I know the answer to this because we've already talked about it, but for the folks that weren't in on our conversations in the last few weeks, has it helped you guys, because you live in your fifth wheel,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And you've RV'd for years and years and years, and you were tent campers before that. How have those experiences helped you in developing your campground into something that, that you know, you are proud of today?
Right.
Yeah. Again, with our experience with the 35 plus years of camping prior to actually owning the campground, yeah, we got to know things that campers like,
And
things
need
that
and want.
need and expect, and the things that they don't like. You know.
I mean, how
and-
many people
and-
have gone to a campground and said, "Oh, I wish they had
and-
this," or you know?
Right.
So you
know,
take that and you put it in here.
obviously, with the RVs coming to the forefront the way they are, I mean, when we bought the campground, we had roughly 35% of our nightly stays were tent campers, and
Oh,
we're
wow.
now down to the point that it's probably only 5 to 7% of
Wow.
our nightly stays are tenters, because RVs are coming to the forefront so much. I mean, when you think of the baby boomers, you know, that are retiring and going into RVs, and then you think about how the next generations tend to be a little more affluent, or maybe they've had experienced the RVs with their parents, so they're getting RVs and stuff, and it just seems RVs are just so much more prevalent. So with an RV, you've got to have the accommodations that come along with that. So when we bought our campground, it was a water and electric campground, period. There
20
were-
or 30 amp.
There were 20 or 30 amp sites. We had 5
Wow.
50 amp sites in the whole campground back then. It had 2 dump stations, you know, and to empty your septic tanks or water tanks on your RV, you had to go to those dump stations, and so there were long lines, you know, at the end of the weekend when people were leaving and so on.
Oh.
And
No,
That's
let's
okay. Keep talking.
Keep talking.
so we quickly said, all right, you know, we've got to change this, and we've got to start upgrading. And I'll tell you, one of the things that we did too that I think was key was we paid attention to how many times we said no on the phone when we first bought the campground.
When people were calling asking
when
a
people
question,
were calling for
do
reservations.
you have this or do you
Yes.
have that?
Right. Do you have full hookup sites? And again, at the very beginning, no, we did not. So clearly, we needed full hookup sites, which
Heated
is
pool.
water, electric, and septic, right? And in our case, also cable. We were the first campground in the whole region to have cable TV.
Oh, wow.
Back then, when we first bought the campground, you had to depend on your antenna on the RV, and there was only one channel that came in good.
Wow.
There were 2 other channels that came in with a lot of snow. But so cable was important for us, septic was important
Wi-Fi.
for us, and also Wi-Fi too. Didn't have Wi-Fi when we first bought it. So again, yeah, you go through that list of the things we said no to begin with. Do you have Wi-Fi? No, we didn't. Did you have a heated pool? No, we didn't. We had a
And
pool, but it wasn't heated, so
And
we heated it.
and the 50 amp, you had it in a few
Yes.
spots, but
That's
not
right.
many.
And it was
right.
shaky.
And we could see, we actually saw as the RVs were coming in, you know, those 50 amp sites were getting used up, and then we had other campers that were coming in that wanted 50 amps but had to use the 30 amp adapter, and we said, all right.
Pigtail
We don't even
down.
sell them anymore.
Wow.
So we've
Yeah.
completely
And
redone
that's
the
awesome.
campground to
Yeah.
where we've got well in excess of 100 sites that are now 50 amp and full hookup with cable, with Wi-Fi. In fact, we recently upgraded the Wi-Fi, so it's fantastic. Everybody in the campground should have good Wi-Fi.
Because
Wow,
you built
that's
the
awesome.
park too, to what you guys look
Yes.
for
Oh, yeah.
and appreciate when
Yeah.
you're
Because it was
traveling.
40 years old when we bought it.
Yeah.
Right.
And not a lot. The buildings were very well taken care of and stuff, but there just wasn't the upgrades that the industry was demanding.
Right.
So
And you said your Wi-Fi, people can stream movies. And
yeah, we
everything
can have a
on it.
full park on a holiday weekend, and
Yep.
they can stream.
Wow, now
Streaming's
that
okay. Wow.
We really
serious.
hope they don't all stream at
Right.
once.
Yes.
We'd
Take
like them to enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah,
you know.
Go out
exactly.
and meet your
But,
neighbors.
Yes.
but I will tell you, we went through last year, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day without any of the typical complaints.
So all the
about
complaints
Wi-Fi
have turned to
and stuff. So it's
better than our
just
house.
Wow.
This is the best
fantastic.
Wi-Fi. So that was
Fantastic.
just
That's amazing.
That
You
was
don't hear
awesome.
that for
It makes us
campgrounds.
feel- It makes us feel good when we know everybody's
because
enjoying
they're spending their
themselves
hard-earned money,
Right.
and we want to give them a wonderful
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And
Well,
plain
you
and
know,
simple.
and that is that. I'm so glad that we were parked next to you.
We are
and
too.
to be
It was
able
wonderful.
to have these conversations because, you know, it's something that a lot of people don't know. You know, they don't realize that there are people behind these campgrounds
Oh,
that
yes.
they visit, you know, and families behind the campgrounds that
Right.
they visit.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that a lot of times with other businesses, you know, with small antique stores that you find along the way or restaurants, you know, as mom and pops. A lot of times people don't think of the campgrounds in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's awesome to get to, you know the faces,
Yeah.
you know, behind these places and how, you know, you guys have done so much from your own experiences to make it just a fantastic experience for the people who come to visit.
We
you.
cannot wait to get there. Now, how do people book with you guys? How
Yeah,
should
how
they?
can they
What's the
find
best
you?
way
Yep,
for them
we
to find
can.
you?
You can go to Oscoda KOA.com. No, I'm sorry. It's Oscoda. Yeah, KOA.com.
We'll put links in the
Yep.
description.
Yes,
I'll give
we
them all
will.
the links and stuff, and you can either do it online or you can just call the office. And during the winter, Jennifer will get back to you within a week's time.
And that's their daughter-in-law.
Yep, our daughter-in-law Jennifer and Mike, our son, they own it with us, and then all the other family, they come and
Help.
camp. And
Oh,
our
yeah.
youngest son lives up there with us, and he's becoming very interested in
Very active.
working at the campground and
That's
learning, the ins and outs of it. So you'll meet Reese up there, and his smile will
That's
knock your
awesome.
socks off.
We can't wait.
Now,
We
what's
can't
the
wait.
phone number if they want to call the
It's
office?
your
I've
She
got
never has to call it.
989-739-5115.
That's it.
And there you go.
I'm on vacation. I don't want to remember.
So real quick,
Yeah.
So that's okay. So that's an excellent point I wanted to get to. So forgive us for traveling a little longer here than the 15
Yes.
minutes, but you guys, you're working, for about 6 or 7 months,
Yes.
8 months out of the year sometimes
8
to
months.
get ready and everything because you have to be up there before
right.
Yes.
everybody starts
Yeah.
showing up to
right.
get the park ready to reopen.
We'll be
So
leaving here
what
in
do you
about
like
3
to
weeks.
do? Because you're full-time RVers.
Mm-hmm.
And the winter months when the campground is closed, what do you guys like to do?
Well, we after we close, like I said, we have a few weeks where we have to work on the campground, and then usually Mike and I will come down here because our son Isaiah and his family moved down here 4 years ago.
Our second oldest son.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's how we found Galveston,
Awesome.
and because we didn't want to be too close to the kids.
But their granddaughters are here every weekend.
Yes,
Oh, they
pick
are
'em up.
They
cute as
are
a button.
beautiful girls.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
love them.
Our two little pumpkins we come down every year to see, and then we go back because we still have in Michigan.
Okay.
6 kids in Michigan, so we go back and spend the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas with them.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Christmas Day, boom, the 26th, we want to leave and come down till April 1st.
Okay.
And we spend all that time with Isaiah and Julie and the girls.
That's awesome.
And it's just wonderful. We do have a son now in California. We're thinking we're going to go out there first
Oh,
next
yeah.
year and then come here. So, because we haven't seen him in almost over a year now.
Wow.
So Mama's missing him.
Oh,
So
yeah. What's his name?
his name's Rico.
Rico.
Hey,
Yep.
Rico.
There we go.
We hope to meet you one day.
Yeah.
We've heard great things.
Yes, he's awesome.
So that is awesome. We're going to put all the links in the description so that you guys can know how to find them. Michigan is just a fantastic. Everybody that we've met has told us we have to go explore Michigan. It's another hotbed for RVers. It is on our list. In fact, a lot of the folks that we met here this winter, friends that we made, we're all planning maybe in the future a big caravan
That would be
Right.
awesome.
to
Well,
check out
you
Michigan.
guys are from Texas,
Right.
Yes.
And you would be amazed at the number of people that we have and actually come and spend the summer with us, or at least come and
For a few months, yep.
for a few months or whatever, and from Texas or other
Southern
states, like
states, just to
Florida,
get away from the
southern
heat.
states.
Right.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like you guys come to escape the snow.
Yeah.
Folks from down here go
Even
up
though
to
Mama
escape
loves the
100.
snow.
I can count the 90-degree days on one hand that we typically have.
Oh,
on our camp.
okay.
Wow.
We got to put it on our list. for
It's
sure.
well, it's definitely on the list. I have a feeling in the future, I don't know when, we're going to have a video on their place.
Oh,
There you go.
for sure.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yes.
you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sitting down with us and just for being great neighbors. We've had such a good time.
We have
And
too.
so
Yes.
have we. So have we. We
And
really
that is,
enjoyed
you
it.
know, we've said it time and time again, you got to get out and meet your neighbors because you
Absolutely.
never know who's going to be parked next to you or down from you or in the
Absolutely.
park at the same time as you are. And we've just met the most fascinating folks.
That's why
you know,
this
on
lifestyle
travels.
is the best. We don't RV to be inside the RV.
No.
We
Yes.
RV to be outside
Absolutely.
the RV.
Yes,
Right.
And you get to know your neighbors.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks again,
Thank
y'all.
you, hon.
Make sure you visit them. We'll put all the links in the description and also on our website when we're going to embed this. We always embed our videos on our website, rvtexasyall.com. So you'll have a Michigan link from there as well
Yeah,
for your
awesome.
Beyond Texas
Give
travels.
us a thumbs up.
Thanks for sticking with us, y'all. And until next time, we'll see you Sunday. Keep on winging it.
All
Safe
right.
travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.